Okay, hello, my friends. I just want to preface this video by sort of talking about finances. I understand that most people don't have the kind of money that allows them to go out and buy 500, 600, 800, 1200, 2000, $5,000 sabers. That's just, territory that's occupied by certain people that seem to own very large houses and have swimming pools and buy everything that comes onto the market as soon as it comes onto the market somehow. I'm a more budget conscious person. I don't really have too much money. um, I have enough. I earn a fairly decent living, and I buy what I can. So I have a kind of a smattering of sabers. Some of them have sound, some of them don't have sound. Various brands: Saber Forge, Ultra Sabers, JQ Sabers, yada yada yada. Some of them are very nice, some of them are not so nice. That being said, this saber here is something that I acquired. It was kind of an interesting story. I picked up from a seller on eBay. It just was marketed as a sort of a one of a kind, and the materials, of course, were aluminum. So it's made out of uh, airplane grade aluminum. Hurrah! And it had lights, no sound, and it's fairly basic. It was only about $80, and I didn't know who manufactured it, but upon looking at it, I think most people would recognize the maker, who I'll get to at some point. But um, when I eventually did receive the saber, it didn't take very long to arrive. Um, I found out it was a Spazbros saber, which was interesting and a little bit confusing because I have a saber, a Ramkota, a General Ramkota saber coming from them at some point in hopefully the near future that I'll review. But this one arrived, and I'm quite pleased with it. I'll give you the basic rundown. I mean, you see what we have here. It's really basic aluminum construction. It has a really nice emitter. I kind of like this you know one piece, two part kind of construction here. You got some anodizing here, which is nice. Anodizing here, and has this little bevel in here where it actually recesses into the hilt. I like that. That's a nice touch. And on this end, you have a clip. And this unit, it just actually pulls out, doesn't screw in. There's no MHS compatibility to this thing. It's strictly a kind of a hodgepodge of pieces. Nothing too remarkable. Runs off of two AAA batteries, and it has a blue Luxian um, LED, which is not very bright. It's kind of bright enough for what it is, and a nice little clickety clack switch, very much similar to the guarded switches that they use on Ultra Sabers. And I will demonstrate the clickety clacketyness. And you can see a modest brightness. It's nothing too amazing. If you're outside in the light, you can't even see it. But inside, it's not too bad. It does the trick. And I found this thing is actually rather solid construction for what it is. It can take a beating. I think it could even be used for dueling. Yeah, not too bad overall. Um, what was I going to say? I think that pretty much sums it up. Oh, no, it does not. Actually, the blade only recesses to about here, and then you've got your retention screw. So one would think that would be barely in there and kind of like a little bit of a hazard if one were to duel. But I went out and I swung this thing around quite robustly, and I didn't notice anything too loose or nothing. Um, Nothing was on the verge of releasing and causing havoc, so that's good. What I would say on a parting note is that as far as um, as far as the the construction goes, I mean the installation, the electronics are rudimentary, extremely rudimentary. There's really not much to it. It's just LED, batteries, switch. So I mean it's basic, basic, basic. However, if one had the skills and or is connected, which I am not on either account, I think a rather robust installation of something, um, some more advanced soundboard with some Tri-Cree or possibly RGB or even NeoPixel values. Replace the switch, put something a little bit more solid back here. Better power source. Create a chassis that can hold all that in here because this is a rather small hilt internally, which is why it only holds two AAA batteries. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I think this would make for a pretty interesting piece. And as far as I know, this is the only one that exists. So, hooray for me. I'll keep it in my collection. And I think that about wraps it up. And I appreciate you giving me the time to run on and on and on. And thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a good evening. Take care. Bye.